Whoops. Pause. Editing Soric here. So, this video ended up heavier than I expected it to. I kept getting the guidance in my divinations to do a reading about love. I don't do traditional love readings, so I decided to do one that is about, like, how are you relating to the concept of love in your life? And it doesn't have to be romantic love, it can also be platonic, familial, artistic, spiritual, you know, like, it can be any sort of, like, the way you connect to people in one-on-one relationship. But, and it's also, like, totally, like, if you're, like, queer, if you're polyamorous, if you're non-monogamous, if you're a relationship anarchist, I'm trying to sort of, like, do more love readings geared towards there, because that's, like, the sphere that I'm in, and I feel like we could use more tarot love readings that serve to share an alternate version of, like, what's up with love and what our responsibilities are in love. And correspondingly, this reading ended up really Saturnian and really just kind of giving some really direct and kind of cutthroat messages about how things are. So if you're not in a good headspace to receive very blunt, probably painful advice about love, it's probably not a great reading for you to watch. But if you're a sick freak like me who absolutely loves pain when it comes to growth and learning, you've come to the right video. And so, yeah, I'm gonna let my past self get on with the introduction. But yeah, I just wanted to share that warning and give people the chance to tap out, just in case you're not up for it. Okay, that's all. Knock knock, it's your boy Soric, and this is my channel, Soric Kazemi. Today I bring to you love readings, which is not something that I've done before on this channel, but I thought today might be a nice time to give it a try. You're gonna have 4 piles to pick from. Pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, pile 4. Take yourselves a deep breath. Inhale, exhale. Center yourself, and then try to feel which pile is calling to you. What are the vibes? Take all the time you need to decide. Once you've chosen your pile, I'll have descriptions. I will have timestamps in the description below. For now, I'm going to go ahead and get started with pile 1. Alright, if you chose Ouroboros, or the Great Serpent, this will be your group. This deck is the Wild Unknown Alchemy deck. It's an oracle deck. And then I'm also going to be using the Headless Tarot by Violet Magician on Etsy, which is one of my favorite tarot decks, as I must say every time. I am obligated to, because I love it. Okay, let's see. what are the tarot messages for pile 1's love life? Interesting. Okay. Hi, pile 1. Just wanted to insert relevant zodiac signs for you. The 8 of Cups is the first decan of Pisces. So this is from 0 degrees Pisces to 9 degrees 59 seconds of Pisces. So the first 10 degrees. The 6 of Pentacles is the second decan of Taurus. So from 10 degrees to 19 degrees 59 seconds of Taurus. So from 10 to 20 Taurus, basically. And the Fool I have seen associated with Uranus. So Uranus could have just moved into a significant like house for you, or be like applying to one of your significant planets. Uranus is, by the time I post this reading, Uranus has entered Gemini, but yeah, so by the time I'm posting this reading, Uranus has just moved into Gemini. And so yeah, you might be someone with a significant placement in Gemini, or one of the signs that is making a hard aspect, squares or opposition to Gemini. So if you are Virgo, Sagittarius, or Pisces, in addition to Gemini, you might be also feeling the tension of Uranus having just moved into that sign. Okay, yeah. Okay, pile 1. There's a very strong theme here of being stuck in loops. Because you have the Ouroboros card. The Ouroboros is the serpent that's eating its own tail. You've got the Fool card. The number 0 also has that, closed circuit, circular energy. And then you've got the 8 of Cups, which is, the number 8 forms the infinity symbol. It's also a closed loop. Those are the 3 things I noticed right off the bat. So I'm getting the vibe that you guys have been stuck repeating the same move over and over again in your love lives. You may have been stuck in loops in your experiences of love. You may be choosing the same kinds of love. I'm getting a very strong vibe of like, there is something that you keep choosing that you gotta walk away from. And it probably has to do with transactionalness in relationships, or like give and take. Because the 6 of Pentacles is very much about like, you can see there's a hand over here that's receiving, and then multiple hands over here that's giving. So this card is fundamentally about an imbalance between the giver and the receiver. So there is some sort of vibe here where perhaps you have once again, maybe recently, or maybe you're like about to choose to put your energy into a connection that is not giving you as much as you are giving it. And maybe this is a move that you've made many times before, and maybe you are aware that this is a cycle that you've been in. The vibe here is giving me it's time to try something new. This might even be a thing where you have like different options for different connections to put your energy into, you know, obviously, like if you're non-monogamous or poly or anything, you could be encountering this energy with more than one person at a time. But regardless, the vibe here is you need to put your energy into new types of connections, and you need to prioritize connections that are not going to exhaust you, connections that you're not going to overgive yourself in, and connections that you are not going to feel like overworked or taken advantage of, or like put on a pedestal. The phrase is coming to my mind. This is interesting because the Fool is kind of like on a ledge and is like stepping off of it, like off a cliff. But to me, this is giving the energy of like, yeah, like prioritizing relationships where you are not pedestalized as some sort of like great, like so like talented and with high capacity and so much energy and so much generosity kind of person. Like maybe you keep choosing connections where you put yourself and allow other people to put you into this role of constantly giving, of constantly caring for other people, of constantly like being the person that has to provide for other people. And maybe you are avoiding choosing connections where you would have to receive from other people. Maybe you are afraid to go for connections where you are being given to. And the vibe here is, the suggestion is try something new. Try relationships, try connections, try friendships where you are also being given to. Allow things, maybe even allow things in your relationships to be asymmetrical in the other direction. Maybe allow yourself to receive more from other people for a little bit, especially if you are in a period of time in your life right now where you need extra support. Okay. I think that's all the messages I have for you today, Pile 1. Thank you so much for listening. If you liked, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, share the video if you want. Yeah. I hope you choose a new pattern. I hope you break out of the endless loop, and I hope you try something new. Okay. Bye! Okay, Pile 2. If you chose the card Ver, or Spring, this is going to be your reading. I'm going to pull some tarot cards, and then we will get to your messages. Okay. There, Pile 2, just post-editing insert to say that relevant zodiac signs for your pile might be Taurus, might be air signs in general. We have the King of Swords here. That's the fire of air. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles here, so earth signs. Swords, air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. So we have Taurus, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, and then we have earth signs, so Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. And we have the numbers 5. We have here, what is that? 10, 15, 16, we have 10, 5, 17. And then the queen is 13 of her suit and king is 14 of the suit. So, yeah. 5, 13, 14, 17. Cool. Okay, pile 2. I'm very much getting the impression of opportunities for growth in love for you. So your oracle card was spring, and this is a very sort of looking forward, looking ahead positively to the future kind of vibe. Something new is sprouting, something fun, fresh, warm, spicy, life-giving, enchanting is sort of the energy. But the 3 cards here draw an interesting contrast to this energy, because these are all very grown-up, mature cards. You know, the Hierophant is all about sort of wisdom and learning and being initiated by a teacher. The King of Swords is one of the most justice-oriented of the cards in the deck, you know, and the kings are all about sort of having mastered their element and being ready to initiate someone else into it. So the Hierophant and the King of Swords both have that sort of initiation vibes, whereas the Queen of Pentacles, she has been through life and has developed boundaries. The Queen of Pentacles knows how boundaries work. The King of Swords knows how justice works. And the Hierophant knows how knowledge works. So, taking the 3 of these together, it's giving you have been, either you have been doing a lot of growing up, or you are about to be initiated into connections that are going to require a lot of growing up from you. There is also an interesting contrast between the 2 of these in terms of gender. I am, a non-binary queer person, and so I'm coming at this from a very queer theory TM lens of spirituality. But going with Queen of Pentacles is, the queens are all water element and Pentacles is earth. The kings are all fire element and swords is air. So what's interesting is that water and earth are both in my system, I say downward facing. Other people might call them receptive or might call them feminine elements. I say downward going or nocturnal. And then air and fire are both upward going or diurnal. They're more daytimey. Or they're more introverted elements and extroverted elements, you could say. I use lots of different words. I haven't settled. I think there's lots of ways to describe it. Anyway, so what I'm getting here is so this double introverted element energy and then this double extroverted element energy is fascinating because it's double opposites, and there is a sort of vibe here of the King of Swords can be kind of a hard ass. The Queen of Pentacles can be very firm with her boundaries. But together, I feel like the vibes of empathy and justice together indicate learning happening. Maybe you're about to find like a real like kind of gem of a connection or connections of some sort coming to your life, you know? The Hierophant having this gem head here. And the King and the Queen both representing like you've gotten to like the upper echelons of like this working with this element. Yeah, tying all of these together with the Spring card, it is definitely giving me, oh, and also the Hierophant is Taurus, and at the time of me posting this, we are in Aries solar season in tropical timing, and we are going to move into tropical Taurus sun in late April, around April 20th or so. Taurus season starts. So this message might kick in for you then. But basically, opportunities for new connections will arise, and they're going to be connections that are more mature, perhaps, than anything that you have experienced in the past. Something more solid, something that is going to combine perhaps the best of these like more sort of extroverted out in the world solar energies and these more introverted in the private sphere nocturnal lunar energies. You know, maybe you are going to be combining these energies within yourself and using that as a way to work these new connections better. Maybe you are going to be teaching people things in your connections, or maybe they are going to be teaching you, and maybe you're going to be teaching each other. I think any good relationship, hopefully you're teaching each other something. Let's see, is there anything else? Yeah, I mean, I guess I will just summarize it up to say that, like, I think things that you have been learning and teaching yourself are going to be, you're going to be given the opportunity. Maybe with the Hierophant energy, I'm getting the energy of like, you're going to be given the opportunity to show what you have learned, to display these qualities that you've cultivated in yourself. And judging by the energy of this, I think you're probably well equipped to rise to the opportunity if it should arrive, when it should arrive. Okay, pile 2. I think that is all the messages that I have for you here today. Thank you so much for listening. This has been me. Leave a like if you liked it, comment, subscribe to my channel if you want more, share this with a friend if you liked it a lot, you know, and you have a friend who might be into this. Yeah. All right. Take care. Bye. All right, pile 3. If you chose the Solutio, aka Dissolution card, then this is going to be your pile. Let me get some tarot cards for you, and then we can give you your messages. Okay. Okay. All right. Hi there, pile 3. Editing Soric here to insert relevant zodiac signs and numbers for your pile. So we have the Devil, which is Capricorn, Strength, which is Leo, and the 5 of Swords, which is the first 10 degrees of Aquarius. So from 0 to 959 Aquarius. So basically 0 to 10 degrees Aquarius. So we have Capricorn, Leo, first 10 degrees of Aquarius. And then we also have, I would say, Neptune, because I feel like dissolution, it's a very common keyword that I see associated with Neptune. And we have the numbers 15, 8, 5, and 65. So 15, 5, 8, 65 are relevant numbers. Okay. Okay, pile 3. Now, starting with the obvious, dissolution, aka dissolving, suggests that something about the way that your love life or your relationships is going, something about it is dissolving. I don't know if this means something internally within you might be dissolving, something might be dissolving for the other people that you're in connections with, or connections. I have to say the possibility. There's, only take it if it sounds likely for you, but it could also be that connections themselves are dissolving. And, sometimes that may or may not be desirable. Judging by what's going on here, it feels like dissolving might be the desirable outcome to this situation. Because down here, the 5 of Swords is giving me, it's very, 5 of Swords is very unfriendly energy. It's either described as the energy of being a sore winner. So like someone who wins but is really, really ungracious and hostile to the people that they win over. Or it is the energy of someone who is suffering a great defeat. Those are sort of the 2 descriptions that I usually see of the 5 of Swords. So, keeping that in mind, let's put a pause on that for a sec and let me talk about these 2 cards and then we'll tie them. Okay, so the Devil and Strength are giving me a push and pull energy between excess and restraint, between being consumed and remaining in moderation. So there might be something in one or more of your connections that is unbalanced. And it's unbalanced in the sense of like being poorly boundaried. This could also be what dissolution is referring to, is perhaps like boundaries are being dissolved. And perhaps you or the other person is letting them be dissolved. Because the devil card in the traditional Smith-Rider-Waite tarot shows the devil figure standing in the background and then 2 smaller figures in the foreground who they have chains around their necks, but they're like loose. Like the loop around their neck is loose enough that they could take it off if they wanted, but they are allowing themselves to be kept in the situation. So this is a situation where you are choosing to remain, even though perhaps you know that it is causing this like back and forth between like excess and moderation for you, or it is causing you to dissolve some boundaries. And in this particular context, it's looking like maybe that isn't the best option. Yeah, because if I'm remembering correctly, one of the names of the Five of Swords is defeat in, I can't remember which deck right now, but I think the Five of Swords is called defeat in some decks. And so, there's also, I just remembered, the possibility of something being defeated by circumstances. Because another thing that occurred to me was the Devil card having to do with being trapped in the excesses of materialism, you know? So maybe like being really like run around by money or finance concerns. So there might be an energy of money or finance concerns, or maybe like something related to your job or some other like significant obligation you have that is causing difficulty in you being able to maintain moderation in your relationships. Yeah. Ultimately, I think the overall takeaway for this pile should be take a look at what is dissolving in your connections or your partnerships. Think about what is keeping you tied to obligations or situations or emotions that you don't want to feel, and then what are the sort of healthier connections, feelings, obligations, or boundaries that you would like to have in your life, and figure out how to get away from the connections that are not giving you this energy. If you're feeling defeated by something or someone, you do not need to force the connection to stay. You are allowed to let things dissolve also, because dissolution already being here is giving like it's already leaving. So maybe this is something that's already on its way out and you're just feeling like the sense of like, I don't know, maybe you feel like you're going to be a bad person, going with the like sore winner thing. Maybe you feel bad that you're allowing this connection to dissolve. Or maybe you feel unjustly bad, or maybe consider, I have to give the "are you the problem here" version of this. The "are you the problem here" version of the Five of Swords is there a connection that you are ghosting? Is there a connection that you are not clearly communicating in? Is there a connection that you would rather not be in, where you are still keeping them dangling, or like breadcrumbing them, or like, are you trying to keep someone on the hook even though maybe you don't like them like that? If so, then it might be up to you to take this chain off of to take this chain off of your neck and theirs and the other people involved. Yeah. Okay, that was a lot of different messages kind of all coming from the same pile. So I hope that some of these possibilities have been helpful to you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. That's all I have for you today. I'm gonna leave it here because this pile is, there's so many layers to it here. Okay. Anyway, Thanks so much for watching. Leave a like if you liked the video, comment, subscribe to my channel if you want more of this, and hopefully I'll catch you next time. Bye! Okay, hello, pile 4. If you chose the Unus Mundus, aka Synchronicity card, then this is gonna be a pile. Let's get you some tarot cards, and we can get to your messages. Hi there, pile 4. Sorry about the sudden change in lighting and energy. As you probably... I'm not sure if I'm going to include this in the final version of the video, but basically, my neighbor started making really loud noises for a really long time while I was filming this. And so I had to, you know, just stop. And then I got really distracted with life. And now I'm coming back like 2 weeks later to finish your pile so I can finally post this video. Anyway, also the 6 of Cups is Scorpio, 2nd decan. So like 10 to 20 degrees of Scorpio is the 6 of Cups, and then 20 to 30 degrees of Leo is the 7 of Wands. And yeah, we have the numbers 6, 7, 10, and 63. So those might be confirmations. So here we are with your Unus Mundus Synchronicity card. The 6 of Cups, the 7 of Wands, and the Wheel of Fortune. And so, correspondingly, okay, let's start with the 6 of Cups here. I'm feeling like you are getting back in touch with your inner child and connecting with them about your understanding of love and how your childhood experiences shaped your understanding of love. The Synchronicity card, I keep getting drawn to the 2 different colors of snakes that are on it. The one white and the one patterned with the scales. Because it feels to me like there's parts of yourself that are asking to be integrated when it comes to how you relate to love. And with the 7 of Wands being here, it feels like you are indeed equipped to do this. The 7 of Wands is not a card that's easy. It's definitely a card that asks you to fight, but you are fighting to defend something that you have already been working on and something that you have already achieved, you know? Because the 6 of Wands, the card right before this, it's like victory, right? The 7 of Wands is defending your victory and also having the upper hand against the things attacking the thing you've achieved. So you might have gotten some progress made on this before. You know, this is perhaps a subject that you have been working on either alone or with someone else, like a therapist, a counselor, a priest, a rabbi, an imam, a guru, someone, a coach, perhaps. I don't know. There's lots of people that you can talk to this. Perhaps even, a friend, a loved one, a family member, something. You might have been doing work around the way your childhood shaped your views of love and what's possible in love. And with the Wheel of Fortune being your third card, it feels like you have been experiencing a lot of shifts in fortune recently. So like your luck may have been up for a really long time and now it feels like it's suddenly going down. Or conversely, your luck may have been really down for a really long time, but now it feels like it's suddenly going up. And in either case, it can be very destabilizing. Because if things have felt good, but now they're suddenly dropping off, you're like in free fall and you're freaking out because, you're having maybe subjectively negative experiences and it kind of hurts. Or things may have been really bad and now things are suddenly looking up and shifting in a positive direction and you're like, can I trust this change? Like maybe you've been down on your luck for so long that when good things start pouring in, it's hard for you to accept the love that's being offered to you. Or you thought you had been given love and then that love has shifted away. Or maybe both. Maybe both with different people in your life, different connections. Based on the fact that you have both Synchronicity and the Wheel of Fortune, though, it's really giving me the vibe that like you are in a crucial time of change. The Wheel of Fortune is a card of Jupiter. So it is really like things are changing for you externally right now that are going to be probably bringing back up these issues of like, how does your life experience up till now affect your view of love? And how are you defending either the gains you've made in how you relate to love, or, alternate message coming in. The Seven of Wands could also be talking about not defending what is cherished and achieved, but it can also be seeing a fight where there is not necessarily one. The Seven of Wands is also defensiveness. So maybe in combination with the Six of Cups, this is going to be like you receiving an opportunity to choose to be in an energy of innocence, of youth, of childish carefreeness when it comes to some sort of connection in your life, rather than going for the old way you've been choosing of feeling like you're constantly battling to maintain your freedom, your victory, your independence. The Seven of Wands is the third decan of Leo. And it's a decan called the Banner. And a theme with this decan is having a cause to fight for. And so this is an energy where you probably feel more comfortable fighting than you do frolicking, you know? You're probably more used to having to defend yourself in the world. You've probably had a lot of very like experiences in love that have like hardened you up. And yet there's still this like soft inner side of yourself that wants something that this like tough outer shell version of you, your armor, your exterior, the part of you that keeps you safe, this is the part that it's keeping safe. But if you defend yourself so hard that you don't accept the opportunities that are being presented to you when they come, who are you really protecting? You're protecting nothing. If you feel like these desires of yours are worth defending, then sometimes they're also worth taking a risk. They're also worth taking a risk on. Yeah, just straight up. The Wheel of Fortune being a Jupiter card is also like, you know, the Wheel of Fortune is about gambling in some ways, but so is life. Like anything that you are doing that is really worth doing, you got to take a little bit of a risk to do it. So I don't know, it feels like you're going to be presented with an opportunity to choose a different path than you usually go with. And up to you if you want to do it, but I feel like there's much to be gained if you do. I think this is all the message I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you liked this, if you found it helpful, if you want something similar in the future. And you can subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of this and know when I post. All right, bye.